don't think any number is too high for me personally. At the end of the day, I know I sound like a broken record, and you guys can keep hearing this, but as long as I'm playing here or playing in the NFL, as long as I take care of my body and continue to do the right things, my body's going to take care of me. So I'm going to continue to have my team around me. Obviously, have a great strength staff here and a great training staff here, but I got to be a pro outside the facility, and whether it's 350 touches, whether it's 400 touches, whether it's less touches next year, whatever I got to do to help this team win games and compete for a championship, I'm willing to do.
That's Saquon Barkley, second overall pick in the 2018 draft. And, Chris, I remember last year as they were breaking him in as the season got started, and it was clear that he was special. I never got the feeling that they designed everything around him like the Vikings did in 2007 when they realized what they had in Adrian Peterson. And if you're going to use a pick that high on a running back, and he shows he is the real deal, that's the moment where your offense runs through this guy, especially when you have suspect quarterback play. And I can't help but wonder how much better the offense would have been last year and how much better it could be this year if they just embrace that he is their Adrian Peterson and they are going to run him until the wheels come off.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, you're right. Last year they tried to kind of slowly do it at the start of the year. Didn't want to wear him out. It's their shiny new toy. They invested the second pick in the draft, so they're trying not to kill him in year one. But ultimately, I mean, he still was second in football with touches. He led his own team in rushing and receptions, which is insane. He's really a phenomenal football player, Mike. You know, I know you've heard me say it. I think he's the best running back in the NFL already. We've talked about the Giants' struggles on the offensive line. This guy averaged 5 yards per carry. Gosh, how many games did we watch? You know, Eli check it down to Saquon Barkley and him make, 9 people miss on a 7-yard gain when nothing was there. He is you said Adrian Peterson. That's who he is. There has not been a running back, in my eyes at least, in the NFL the last 15, 20 years as talented as Adrian Peterson, and I think Saquon Barkley is the first guy to come along to where I go, ooh, this guy has a chance to challenge, the greatness of the best running back of this era because he's so special.
And I think that's the obligation if you're going to use a top 10 pick on a running back, because there are running backs available every round of the draft. You can find an undrafted guy from time to time who ends up being a great player. If you're going to use that high draft pick on a running back, you want to use that running back. And I don't think it's a coincidence, Chris, that last year, the top 3 guys by way of touches, Ezekiel Elliott with 381, Saquon Barkley with 352, and Christian McCaffrey with 326, they were all top 10 draft picks. You have to use those guys. Otherwise, take someone else with that top 10 pick and get a running back later. Now, here's the other side of the coin, though. Yeah. Because to the extent that this workhorse tailback is making a comeback in the NFL, the problem with that is, and I go back to guys like Sean Alexander, right? Once you give that guy his big contract, does he begin to fall off the cliff because you've overused him early in his career? When you have 2 or 3 running backs, you never create this monster that needs to be paid because he's the most popular guy on the team and everybody has his jersey and everybody has him on their fantasy football team. And it becomes bigger than the team. And by the time you've paid him, he's not the guy that he was. That's the danger. These guys tend to burn bright for a short period of time and then they start to fizzle out. And that's the question for Elliott, for McCaffrey, and for Barkley. How long can they continue at this level?
Yeah, no, I think that's it is. You're right. I think you're spot on with that question. And what we've seen from Adrian Peterson, of course, is he's exceeded our expectations because he's one of the freakier people we've ever seen. We'll see with Ezekiel Elliott. I worry about it, with the style of play in which he runs. But Adrian Peterson ran the same way, a lot of car crashes, and damn, he's still really good. Saquon Barkley, I'll say this, and I think he's every bit as freaky as an Adrian Peterson and keeps himself in shape and trains hard and does all the right things like we heard him say. The other thing I like about him, just for the longevity purposes, Mike, I think we'd have a hard time finding too many plays last year where he was in car crash collisions. He's got a little bit of that Barry Sanders about him. And there is moments in a game where you watch him and you go, ooh, I wish he would just smash it up in there for 2 or 3 yards when nothing was there. That's the only knock you can say about him. But the good thing about that knock is it will add years and miles to his career because he's not going to be that sledgehammer that's just going to senselessly plow up into the middle of the line of scrimmage all the time when nothing's there.
Adrian Peterson missed plenty of games throughout his career because he had that mentality. And I think if you can take the Adrian Peterson skill and weave in that Barry Sanders ability innately to avoid contact or embrace it the right way, you can have a guy who plays 15, 16 games a year.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.